So you were presented with a choice between a fully outsourced option and a partially outsourced option, and you gave the direction, you made the decision to say you want the partially outsourced option. Is that correct?
I made the decision to go to a model would use staff augmentation and our existing cloud and leverage existing code. I made that decision.
You made that decision, and you are telling us that you, at the time you made that decision, had no idea that there were specific companies associated with specific options. Like, nobody mentioned that GC Strategies is presenting this option and Deloitte is presenting this option. You made that recommended technology direction in complete ignorance about which companies were behind which option. Is that what you're telling us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That is not what I'm telling you. I would like to remind the committee that this was not a $54 million in March of 2020.
That's not my question, sir. That's not my question. Answer the question, and you have an obligation to answer the question. That's part of the way this process works.
I am answering the question.
No, you're not. You're telling me that you were not ignorant of which companies were involved. So when you were presented with these two options, a fully outsourced option and a not fully outsourced option, you're telling me you knew at the time that Deloitte was behind one of them and GC Strategies was behind the other?
I am saying that I was aware that one of them was Deloitte, and I was not aware that the other one's GC Strategies. And all the evidence I found supporting this decision around that time will support what I said. There are no mentions of GC Strategies.
So someone came to you and they said, we have the option of fully outsourcing to Deloitte, or we have the option of a partial outsourcing solution, but we're not going to tell you who the company involved is, and then you made the decision. Is that how it happened?
So about 10 days before this started, the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic.
Sir, not what we're talking about. Not what we're talking about at all. Could you answer my question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an important context. 5 days later, Canada closed its borders. 4 days later, we unprecedentedly closed the borders with the United States.
So you're already accused of lying to this committee. Could you? I think it's in your interest to be forthright and direct, and you have an obligation to be forthright and direct in any event. Is my description of events correct? Namely, that when presented with this choice, you were given either fully outsourced to Deloitte or this partially outsourced solution in which they didn't tell you what the company was involved, and you made the decision in the absence of that information. Is that what you're claiming?
Very quick answer, Mr. Doan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The decision wasn't partially outsourced. It's staff augmentation, and it was to build an app to replace a form. That was all it was. It was not a $54 million decision. We didn't know that simple app.
So you're not answering my question.
That is our time, gentlemen.
Mr. Chair, I would ask you to call the witness to order on this point. He has an obligation to answer.